All right. Hello, everybody. Today we're joined by Raw Meat Experiment. I think the name says it all. So this legend has been eating raw meat for how
long? Today's day 69.
Just hilarious. I saw your post with the 69 t-shirt. For 69 days, eating it outside. You're in California, eating outside of Wholefoods. So, not quite as fresh as it gets, but pretty fresh, straight off the supermarket shelf, and turning some heads in the process. So, a big welcome. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Well, so what have you got there today?
Oh, I just got a top sirloin from California and some raw milk. Beautiful. as a
bit of liquid cow, as you like to say.
Yeah, some liquid cow.
Yeah.
This is raw milk delivered straight from the Amish.
Oh wow! Do they actually deliver it to your home?
They have that option, but there's in Los Angeles there's like a big group order that they do. Okay. So every 2 Saturdays, like a big truck comes with all the fresh meat, organs, milk, and cheese, and everything else, all the way from across the country.
Man, that is awesome.
The best.
Sorry, what was that?
Yeah, it's the best food that I know of.
Absolutely. In Australia, we can't get raw milk, so it's like it has to be pasteurized, homogenized, which it's not the same.
So you've never had it, huh?
Well, there's this brand in Australia called Made by Cow, and they cold press it. So I don't know. Somehow that's legal, but it has to be.
Yeah.
It's clean. Anyway, that has the cream on top. Which does that milk you've got there have the cream on top?
It does when it comes out of the jar. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Awesome. So, dude, I'm joining you today.
Amazing. What do you got?
This is a Mackenzie's Meats Scotch fillet, 250-gram steak, and like when I'm making steak, particularly since watching your stuff, I will slice a bit off at the start and try it. But yeah. I haven't eaten much raw, so this will be interesting. Yeah.
Did you see you going seasoning or no?
Well, I've got salt. Are you going salt, or what are you doing?
I'm gonna do nothing on this one.
Okay. All right. Well,
I do salt when I cook steak. I use salt, but for some reason raw, I just got used to it with no flavors. So I'm just gonna keep rocking with that.
Yeah. Cool. All right, man. Let's take a bite. Well, I'm gonna take a bite anyway. Feel free to join. So I intentionally went for the fat, just because like it looks really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. It's really good.
Yeah, that can be pretty good.
Yeah.
Sometimes on like a big ribeye, I'll bite into a chunk and it's just like, it has like the texture of biting into a candle.
Yeah, totally. The
flavor comes out more when you cook it, but I mean, it's good. The raw fat is tasty too.
Yeah. I'm gonna try a bit of salt on here. So how's your, is that a top sirloin, did you say?
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah, it's 100% grass-fed, organic. It's from a farm in California. They sell it at Wholefoods, but it's not like behind the glass Wholefoods food.
Right, okay.
Yeah, it's packaged from somewhere else. I eat it a lot of the time, but I'm trying to order most of my stuff from farms now.
Yeah. More direct from the source.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
I just gotta get a freezer, maybe. I don't know. I'm in an apartment and I just got a tiny little freezer.
Yeah, you need a big chest freezer, like freestanding off the ground.
Yeah, that's what I need.
So how did this all start?
Well, I've been into all the carnivore information pretty hard for like a year, I would say.
Yeah, cool.
You know, going hard on YouTube, podcasts, listening to John Baker, Saladino, everybody.
Yeah.
And I just found some other people that were like, well, I got into raw milk through that community and just like started getting books on like what's the difference between raw milk and pasteurized milk and like what is the heat doing to it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that kind of opened up the whole thing for me. Like people are like driving 2 hours to get raw milk in like some fridge in the back of a farm. And I'm just like what is so beneficial about the uncooked product?
Yeah.
And so I read about that. Like people had raw milk for 10,000 years. It was pretty integral in a lot of history. And then they started pasteurizing it like 100 years ago. And that's because they were feeding the cows like some food that was like coming out of making alcohol. So it was just, they were feeding it like swill, like total garbage. And then a few people in New York sick. And that's when they kind of were like, okay, we have to pasteurize all of it. But people still try pretty hard to, I think pasteurizing it, like it kills all of the enzymes and bacteria. So it just kind of makes it a useless product. Like you get the calories from it, but else kind of doesn't work the way nature intended. So I did the same logic for everything else. I started drinking raw eggs because I saw like, I'm in Venice Beach. It's like the bodybuilder area.
Yeah.
They have Muscle Beach. And so I just like looking up all the bodybuilders that used to be here, and then they're all like chugging raw eggs. So I started getting into that just because, partly just to see what happened, and also because I didn't feel like cooking as much.
Yeah.
And
Do you
cleaning
like the taste? I've seen you scull like 9 eggs in a big glass. What do you think about the taste of raw eggs?
I like the taste now. At first I kind of grossed out.
Yeah.
But if you get good eggs, like really they just taste like grass.
Yeah, right. Good eggs taste like grass.
Yeah, like the ones I get from the farm taste like, there's like Vital Farms is kind of a decent one for the grocery store. They taste like grass.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at least they're outside eating grass and bugs. So that's where all the nutrition comes from anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, the taste, I think like taste buds just adapt really fast. Before I got into carnivore and started like living off of cooked steak and eggs, I was into the plant-based information. Like I never thought that it was a scam or anything. I was just like, I think like 10 years ago, I went looking on Netflix for health information because I just kind of felt like shit. And the only option you get is plant-based. So that just opened up that to me. And eventually I was just like, I wasn't feeling good. I have a blender and I would put kale, parsley, cilantro. Like I had like 30 mason jars filled with nuts and seeds and superfood powders. Yeah. I'm just like, some combination of this stuff every morning has to make me feel good. Like
surely, right?
Spending so much money on these superfoods, like how do I not feel good? But then yeah, I like fell into the carnivore information and I was like, this seems ridiculous. Like obviously meat's bad for you because that's just what you're told. And
that's what we're told, yeah.
The steak and egg, just like, I don't know, I just got so like full and stable throughout the day. Like instead of living off carbs and like going up and crashing all day, I just felt so much better. So like you just get addicted to the information and learning. And yeah, just through raw milk, raw eggs, raw liver. I started eating raw liver, probably from Paul Saladino and all of that.
Yeah, he's big on the liver.
And then eventually I did that for probably like 6 months, just cooked meat, raw eggs, raw milk, raw liver. And I'm not 100% carnivore, maybe like 80% animal foods. I have some plants here and there just for fun, but yeah, that led me to, I just wanted to try more raw meat because I saw a lot of the people that I was adding on the page Meat Based News, the meme page I had.
Oh, so you used to have another meme page, did you?
Yeah, I think you followed it. It was called
Dude,
Meat Based.
yeah, absolutely. I had no idea
Yeah.
that it's here.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this raw meat experiment started off as just like kind of like a funny thing to do for Meat Based News.
Which it is.
It kind of just like took off. So I've just been spending my time on that, answering comments and DMs.
Yeah. I think I reckon for me, the most confronting thing that you eat is raw chicken. And that's because like I was always told, oh, you'll get salmonella. Like, don't use a chopping board for the onions that you chopped up chicken on, which I always thought was a bit silly. Like,
Yeah.
you're out there just chomping into raw chicken.
Yeah, the first couple I saw, like I have a couple friends on Instagram that eat raw chicken all the time.
Okay, right.
They're like raw, pretty much 100% raw meat eaters.
Yeah, wow.
And I don't know, attracted to information that's not normal. So I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so there's other people eating chicken. So I just went to Whole Foods and bought chicken right off the shelf and started eating it.
Mm.
And I did that a couple times, and then doing more research on just like what the chickens are fed and the conditions that they're in. Like if I'm going to eat chicken in the future, it's going to be chosen very carefully.
Okay, yeah.
Today's chicken was from the Amish farm. It's the first time I ordered that from there.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different. It's like a different color. They
Yeah,
don't eat corn or soy. There's no medications or injections. You know, they're like,
awesome.
It's some old school chicken. So if I'm gonna trust anything,
yeah, mate, that's the way to do it. I've had there's this awesome place near where I live that do roosters, and it's like I think the roosters normally just get like slaughtered and wasted once they've reproduced with the chickens. But these guys raise the chickens up to be meat birds, and it's essentially the thing, like it's a darker meat. They're obviously bigger than a regular chicken, and there's just more flavor in there. So I don't know, maybe some of these Amish guys do roosters. That'd be a good one to try.
Yeah, they definitely do. They sent, when I joined it, they send like a 16-page menu of everything they have. It's like you can get like water buffalo liver, and so
wow,
a whole bunch of stuff for me to try. It just takes I can only order every 2 weeks, so
yeah,
between those orders is like when I'm getting random stuff from grocery stores and eating it.
So you often chomp in right outside of Whole Foods. Do people like do a double take? Do they stop and talk? What happens?
Yeah, I did that just because I thought it was funny to do it like as a meme.
Yeah,
I just thought like if I stumbled across a YouTube video that said like day 172 eating raw meat outside of Whole Foods market, that's something that I would have to watch. So that it just started as that idea in my head, and I was like there's plenty of people eating raw stuff in their homes on YouTube, but like you have to do it in like a funny way to make it get attention. So yeah, I did it. It's just like the Whole Foods is the closest grocery store to me pretty much, and the only one that has tables up front.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is where I gotta go. So yeah, I just get something there. I just go right outside, open it, and eat it on video. It's the whole process takes me like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Over there. Yeah. But as far as people, I mean, they walk by, they look at me, they kind of like mumble, just like raw meat type, you know, like you can't really hear what they're saying. And I've only had an interaction where like some probably vegan lady just talked my ear off for 10 minutes.
About how you're going to get sick, or?
Kind of, yeah. She was like, you can't do that. You're not respecting the animal properly. You have to go home and wash it off and put seasonings on it and cook it. And I'm like, I'm respecting the animal properly. Like I'm eating it without altering it at all, you know? Like if someone was gonna eat me, I wouldn't want to set me on fire first and like cover me in raw plants. It's like just enjoy enjoy me for who I am,
Exactly. Just bite into my flesh straight outside
Yeah.
Wholefoods. That's how I want to be, finally
That's how,
processed.
that's how I want to go.
I'll keep that in mind. Maybe you can like auction off your dead body when you die.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
NFTs, something like that.
Yeah, an NFT of my corpse. Someday.
Yeah.
We'll see how long I last. I think I have to go 365 days of doing the video. Like if nothing happens in between there, like I think a full year as a project that's like anything before that would be cutting it short.
Yeah, I think you're right. Go the full year.
Yeah, full.
And then you never know what you're going to be able to spin up off this. Like I know there's already like thousands of people commenting on your Instagram being like, I've tried raw meat. I'm really enjoying it. You've now like opened up this whole way of eating for me. Keep going.
Yeah. It's bringing like tons of people are bringing attention to nutrition stuff online, but like this is bringing in people from everywhere that are just totally disgusted. And then after a few weeks, they're like, hey, they'll DM me and be like, so at first I thought you were insane, but now I quit smoking cannabis. I'm eating more steak and I've never felt better. And like, I'm getting all of these like crazy DMs every day about that.
Wow.
And I'm not telling people what to do either. I'm just sharing my experience.
Yeah.
I wrote the name as experiment so that it wasn't like, this is the correct way to eat food. Like I don't want to be saying that I know anything more than anyone else. And in the bio, it says like, will I live for 5 days or 500 years? Like, it's like, I'm not telling people this is safe. Like, you can't just go to Walmart and eat the chicken because you saw me eating like super special Amish farm chickens. But people are learning. And I do have friends that just eat raw meat at Walmart too.
What, like before you started, or they've started copying you?
They were doing it like before and after. Like they'll just be in the comments like, yeah, I eat ground beef from Walmart every day, raw.
I love it.
Like it's not something that I'd be comfortable with, but I'm glad there's people doing it.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the cool things that you're doing is that you are talking about the quality of the product that you're eating. And, it kind of begs the question of like, if you wouldn't eat it raw, why would you eat it cooked? And
yeah,
shouldn't we all be prioritizing our health in a way that you purchase stuff that you truly believe is high quality, like you are with the Amish meat?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially it's like, I don't know. And I came from like the plant-based propaganda stuff where like you just keep on watching factory farm trauma videos.
Yeah.
Like, I can't just come back and say like I support that now,
Yeah.
So it's like,
No way.
I want to eat cows that are eating grass and getting sunshine because that's where all of the nutrition comes from anyway. So I'm trying. I mean, not everybody can afford to not eat factory farmed meat. So it's like everybody has the right to eat the food that they need to eat. So you can't say not everybody, but I've cut back on just a bunch of other habits that don't benefit me. And I'm spending that money on better food because it's just what I believe in. Just, it's a more, if I'm like doing this publicly to 30,000 people now, I didn't think it was going to blow up like that.
Yeah.
So like whatever, I'll spend the extra money and promote the things that I believe in.
Yeah. I'm just going to mention quickly that if you guys want to support the raw meat experiment, they can Venmo you cash and then you'll spend it on really good quality Amish meat. Am I right?
Yeah. I just put that up yesterday because people were asking. They were like, is there any way we can like buy you a meal or support you? So I was like, go ahead. I made the Cash App and the Venmo raw meat experiment. And it's like, I am definitely spending like $20 a day on food.
Minimum.
But I'm like, I'm eating like funnier and more expensive things for the videos too.
Yeah.
Like if I was just doing this at home, I'd be eating ground beef and eggs, but like it's not going to be a good video if I'm just eating a block of ground beef every day.
Yeah, totally.
But it's also just fun to try new things too.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, can we talk about, you mentioned before that you've kind of given up certain habits and in place you're focusing more on eating this quality food and your health. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm actually just like 2 years ago, I would drink. I was vaping nicotine like 24/7, caffeine, Starbucks. There's a Starbucks underneath my office. So that's like $10 a day, drinking caffeine a day. And what else? Yeah, just like cannabis here and there. So I figure that stuff all cost me at least like $25 a day, all of those habits. And I'm just totally, about a year and a half ago, I quit everything. I'm in LA, so you can get weed wherever you want. So that was the one that I stayed on a little bit. But yeah, no drinking, no alcohol, caffeine, or cannabis. I mean, nicotine for like a year and a half now.
Wow, awesome work. Well done. That's really cool.
And I just quit all those things because I got to a point where they were just like taking away more of my energy than helping me. And I kind of just figured all my like health issues that I had like back pain. I was always like lazy, trying to like stay in bed. I had like some skin issues, and I just figured all of this. I was like, well, I'm smoking and drinking, so probably from that. So once I quit all of those things, and like for 6 months, like I'm like, okay, I'm dead sober, and like these issues are still happening, and you can like kind of tell more. So that's about the time where I got initial carnivore information, stumbling upon that. Yeah, because some people will ask me, they're like, maybe you feel better because you quit drugs and not because of meat. But I'm like, no, there was like a 6 month in between that. And like just being sober and being able to notice it so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'm eating what I think to be healthy things, and I'm not doing anything bad. Like, why am I tired 24/7?
Totally. Yeah. I've experienced that before as well. It's just like, well, I'm doing exercise and I'm eating well. At the time I was eating, lots of carbohydrates, like rice, heaps of veggies, like, salads, all that sort of stuff. And I'm doing all this. How come I still have no energy? I'm trying to sleep all the time and get rest and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the answer to that is a lot to do with the gut and how you're digesting food, and then how that then makes you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I don't know. I don't want to be like carbs are the devil type person, but
yeah, me neither.
Living off of carbs for me was not living to my best potential.
Yeah.
But now I eat I'll have potatoes sometimes. I eat chicken and rice sometimes with my girlfriend.
Yep.
And I'll have fruit like a week as a snack at night. So I'm not like 100% carnivore or anything. I eat a couple of plants, but I don't know. I'm probably going to say like 80% animal based for as long as I can tell.
Yeah. Now I don't necessarily agree with this, but I think there's a misconception of people who are in your game, and you said this on the Mark Bell podcast, like you are a professional meme creator. So in a way, you're kind of like an online comedian. And there's some people might think that like to be that hilarious prankster, you've got to be like drinking and smoking weed and kind of like really immersing yourself in that like sort of dropkick culture. I mean, how's your meme making performance been impacted by your lifestyle change? That's my question.
Good question. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been making memes like every day for probably like 7 years now.
Wow.
And just running a bunch of different pages on Instagram, making friends and doing that. But initially, like the memes that do well are about drinking and smoking. Like I have a weed page that's pretty popular, and I haven't posted on it since I quit smoking weed because I'm
Amazing.
like I want
And
to promote.
are you going to
Like
are you going to try and sell that, or are you just going to let it run?
I'm not sure yet. I'm probably gonna try to sell it,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's only like 60,000 followers or something.
Good man.
But like I can't. I feel like I'm at the point where like I don't want to make content about those activities that I just don't want to promote it. Like I don't care if people do it. Obviously, everybody's gonna drink and smoke weed, but I don't know. I just don't want to put that energy out if it's like not something I'm into. So that's where it's like when I was doing meat-based news or just me doing this page now, I was putting all of my time into it, even if it has like 3,000 followers, because it's just what I care about at the time. But I'll have a page with like 800,000 followers just sitting there doing nothing, because I just have no energy for, I don't know. It's just where my mind is at the time.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just like so zoned into like the nutrition and diet world. I'm just reading about it every day, listening to podcasts every day, talking to people in the DMs for like 3 hours a day. And I'm just like, it's an obsession for sure. It's trying to just feel the best that I can and learn the most that I can. It's good to be passionate about something though.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's where obviously a lot of the special creativity comes from. When you are so passionate and immersed in it, then you become a meme machine.
Yeah. Like I make memes for work too. It's my job.
Okay.
Like I make memes for brands to post, and that stuff is just kind of easy to me. It's like promoting TV shows or brands, or so you just use whatever formats you think of and just kind of incorporate their stuff, and they just get posted on random pages. So like that stuff is pretty easy to me, but for my own brands and pages that I'm doing, like I just can only really put my energy into one or two things at a time.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense. And you're certainly immersed in the world of like kind of carnivore and raw meat now. So it's cool focusing on that.
Yeah. The raw meat one took off. So it's like I'm spending all of my free time on that pretty much.
Yeah. So you should. I mean, it's flying. And it would be great to see like all those new followers and like likes coming in and just chatting with everybody. That's really cool.
I try to answer all the DMs, but it's gotten pretty much impossible.
Yeah.
I'll try, but I don't know. There's probably like 300 a day.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah. And like I've made some good friends on there, that we like share books and talk about stuff every day, but I'll just go to like the message request thing and I'm just like, this is too much.
So health wise, how are you feeling?
I think right now I feel like I'm at the best health wise that I can remember being in like the last 15 years.
Right.
Definitely with not smoking and drinking. Definitely has a lot to do with eating animal products and like adding organs and stuff into my diet. And like the more you learn about it, the more like scared of seed oils you'll be and all of that. So it's like when it comes to raw meat, I do believe that there's some things about it that are probably more nutritious, and like cooking it obviously tastes better, but I just think that there's a few things that probably die that are beneficial to you when you cook it. And cooking is good for like probably like 80% of the animal that you can't chew, like bone broth.
Right. Yeah, all the tendons and
like there's of cuts that you can't chew, and like bone broth. And I mean, cooking was also probably used or invented a lot for like vegetables and potatoes and stuff that are toxic without cooking. But I mean, if you can just walk into a grocery store and only buy organs and chewable cuts, like if I'm that lucky to be able to do that, then I'm gonna eat some of them raw, you know. I think, yeah, like I can't really feel if there's been a difference since I've been doing like half of my foods raw.
Mhm.
But I also think like it might be a long-term thing, you know. Like you can smoke for like 40 years without feeling shitty too. And then, you know, it kind of builds up with you. And I'm sure my entire life was eating like processed foods and then mostly plants. So like I'm probably filling up some vitamin holes that I've been neglecting my entire life.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a cool way of thinking about it. It's almost like the body's resetting or coming back to life now. And
Yeah,
being able
like
to, sorry, you go.
yeah, it takes time. Have you heard of the book Deep Nutrition?
I have heard of it, but I haven't read it. I need to.
Yeah, I finished that one recently. She talks about just like the intergenerational, like what happens to like your children and your children's children by like taking out certain things in your diet. So that's why people can live off, you know, people can live off potatoes for 10 years and stuff like that. But eventually, like somebody's going to pay that deficit of the things that you're missing. So even if you can't tell that eating liver every day is like helping you, like you are getting nutrition that you need in the future or your children will need in the future. So that book just opened me up to like seeing how long-term nutrition stuff is. It's not like, did you get sick and die from the raw chicken today? You know, it's like, no, this stuff is like, you know, it takes forever.
Mm, yeah, for sure. Can I ask how old you are?
I'm 33.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you look young, which I think is a good thing. You know, I'm 30. Like we're getting to the age where we want to look young, right? You don't
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
start to look like
yeah.
old.
It's the age where you start to care.
Yeah. With your study into nutrition, have you been looking at any of the early childhood development studies or any talk about like pregnancy and ideal nutrition for bringing up young kids?
I haven't seen too much on it. In that the same book, Deep Nutrition, she
Yeah.
talks about it, and it's all just kind of the same thing, like the same as like Weston Price would say. Like the people that are healthiest have like raw dairy or organ meats or raw animal foods or just some sort of, you know, shellfish type of thing. It all comes down to like basically how many animal foods the culture is eating, and then they have the strongest children.
Yeah, totally. I've one of my friends is Dr. Anthony Chaffee. He's like a 100% carnivore doctor, and he had a good friend who had just fallen pregnant and like was listening to a lot of his carnivore information, and
Mhm.
she decided to go full carnivore, except she would still have her oats in the morning, and
Mhm.
basically her health like totally turned around, um, and the only thing she was having trouble with was a bit of morning sickness. And he encouraged her to remove the oats and see what
Mhm.
happens. And morning sickness went away just like that. She had a really
Yeah.
smooth pregnancy. And then she's brought the kids up carnivore, 2 kids. And these kids have got massive craniums. They're like walking and talking before any of the other kids. And they're just like super robust, healthy kids
Mhm.
with who don't throw, who very rarely throw tantrums. Like their mood is super consistent. You know, just it seems to give people like a real head start on life.
Yeah, I have seen some stuff like that, like the baby's crying all the time is like not supposed to be how it is in people that are healthy. But yeah, that's interesting. I've seen that guy's page before.
Yeah.
He's cool.
So what's next? I suppose just keep chowing raw meat, or what's on the horizon?
Honestly, I have no idea. Yeah, so I didn't expect this page to go so hard. Like I didn't tell anybody about it or share it really, except for on meat-based news because those are like my nutrition homies.
Yep.
But yeah, it keeps catching waves and getting bigger. So I'm not really sure what it's going to turn into. I never really know, but I'm thinking of streaming on Twitch. I don't know if they'll kick me off for eating raw meat on camera or not, but I think that it would be funny to just try like a new platform. Like I've never used it before. I've made 1,000 Instagram pages, so that's not like a new thing for me. Maybe I could try TikTok. I'm not sure what it'll turn into though. Maybe, I don't know. I could be like a raw Anthony Bourdain that like goes around to find raw food and posting on YouTube thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, like the international intrepid explorer eating raw meat all over the world. That'd be cool.
Yeah, like I could like go as like a way to promote your farm and like eat some of your raw foods or something. Because I think that's what I'm into, is like promoting healthy people that are making healthy foods available is like what I want to promote.
Mm-hmm.
So like every time I find something new that I think is a good food, like I tag them and stuff, like nobody's paying me to do that. And somebody even asked me, they're like, would you promote my farm if I paid you? And I was like, I would promote it anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with the page. Like you never really know. When I started making memes, I think it would be my career. Like I was just getting some energy out on Facebook.
Yeah. I remember in the Mark Bell podcast you were talking about. So you were an accountant to start, which nothing against accountants, but I suppose there can be creativity in anything you do, but it's obviously very different to making memes. And then you were working in construction.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started making memes.
Right. Yeah. There would be days like I was working, it was like my dad and like his buddies and stuff. Like I would be like on a roof putting up a gutter or something. Yeah. And he'd be like, get off the phone. Like you're not gonna make money posting jokes on Facebook. Get off your fucking phone.
Look at me now, Dad.
Look at us now. Yeah. I don't know. The office life wasn't for me. I've made tons of extremely funny friends doing the meme stuff. So, I mean, social media is probably like a negative thing overall for humanity, but I like to use it. A lot of people are learning on it too, but I use it to make friends, networking, make people laugh.
Yeah, well, you're doing that. I like it. And now I think you're now starting to educate people about health as well, health and good agriculture.
Yeah. Yeah, I just want to teach people, like, I don't know, it's doing it in a ridiculous way, eating raw meat in front of a grocery store.
Yeah.
But that it gets people to start thinking about, they're like, wait, I thought meat was bad. And then I think I bring the people in, and then it's really everybody in the comments is like, people start reading the comments and everybody's in there every day, like with some serious information, so it's not just me, it's a whole entire team effort of like 1,000 people that are into this information, and they're in the comments answering everybody's questions every day. And then that after like a week or two of that, people are like, okay, I came to this page as a joke, but like I'm actually learning what to do.
Yeah, which I think is really cool. That's like the hack to social media, like make the impact, draw them in, and then you can start to educate them. It's genius.
Yeah, you got to figure out some scheme to get attention. And because if I just started a page and was like, this is the correct way to eat, and it's just information, nobody would give a shit.
Yeah, man.
They're like, who are you? I don't care.
Yeah. Who am I? I've been eating raw meat for 69 days outside Wholefoods. That's who I am.
I eat lamb testicles in public.
Now, who are you? Oh, I love it. Are you on YouTube now?
Yeah, it actually started as a YouTube.
Right.
And all the videos are there pretty much, and they're like just 5 minutes. But I was like, I was like, I'll make the Instagram and just put like a 1-minute thing with music, and like I'll use that as a way to get people to know there's a YouTube channel. But then the Instagram just did so much better. The YouTube, it got to like, it's at 1,000, but
Yeah.
I don't go on it to like answer questions and stuff. Like I just, for some reason, I'm just way into the Instagram layout.
I get that.
People ask questions on YouTube and I get an email and I'm just like, I don't feel like going on there to answer it, you know? So I think I'll stick to Instagram, possibly TikTok, possibly Twitch. I think Twitch would be fun if I just did like 20 minutes, like twice a week. Just hop on, I'll eat an entire raw meal and answer all of the questions that you have in real time type of thing.
That would be great.
Yeah, that might be fun.
YouTube would also be cool. Like selfishly, I would like to see you going around to farms or like meeting those bearded butcher guys and like doing a butcher class, things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that's, yeah, I'll definitely keep the YouTube going.
Yeah.
Just in case. But yeah, that would be fun for me. Like I want to go see, I want to learn more, you know, it's like I'm learning all of this stuff online, but like I'm in a city. I'm not like going to farms to get my food and stuff.
Yeah.
Luckily you can order online.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, raw meat experiment. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks for eating a raw steak with me.
Beautiful.
And I'm pleasure. And I'm sure everyone's going to be keen to see like what you do in terms of like continuing to educate people and having fun eating raw meat.
Yeah.
Cool,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks for having me.